It was September 2003, 6 days before my 29th birthday, when I said I do to this young man who later became the father to my only child. That day I thought I was saying I do to my forever. He was my first everything. We used to go to the same church. We were in the youth group, the church youth group together. We even transitioned to the young adult ministries together. But little did I know that 13 years later, our marriage would crumble. My forever was gone, and I faced persecution. Well, maybe persecution is a harsh word. Judgment, maybe. Rejection, isolation, ostracization from my own community. I was alone. I'd never felt so alone. I don't know about him. On this channel, I'll be talking about my experience since I've been on this divorce journey. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Tlaleng, and the name of my channel is Single, Married, Divorced, and Christian. And in this episode and a few more episodes to follow, we'll be talking about rejection, the rejection that follows divorce, rejection from the community, rejection from workmates, rejection from church folk. In my story, the rejection filtered through to my daughter. It was painful. She used to have this friend in the estate where we were living. They were best friends. They were joined at the hip. They loved each other so much. This friend used to come to our house all the time to play with my daughter. And likewise, my daughter would go to her house so that they could play together. So one day, when the mother of this child came to our house to pick up her daughter from one of the play dates, we talked, we talk a little, whenever we met. We were not friends or anything, but we had an interaction because of our daughters. We talk about their school activities and, their relationship and stuff like that. And then that day she found out that my husband was no longer staying with us. We were separated and we were in the process of divorce. I guess when she got home, she must have related the story to the news to her husband. And from that day, her daughter was no longer allowed to come to our house. And whenever my daughter would go to the friend's house to play with a friend, she would be told, so and so can't play today. And she would go back the next day and she would be told to go home. So and so cannot play today. And she kept on trying. She told me that one day at school, even the friend told her that, my father said, I must no longer go to your house anymore. But, they're kids. They still played together at school. They loved each other. They didn't understand what was going on. Why do you drag children into messy affairs that has nothing to do with them, that involve adults? Did me and the parents fight? No. The wife only found out that I was going through divorce, and all of a sudden I went from being this good person to being this person who was supposed to be avoided. So kids being kids, my daughter would still go to the friend's house, and one day their helper took my daughter aside and said, Kidu, you're no longer allowed to come to our house. So and so's father told me never to let you into the house again. You cannot play with so and so anymore. My daughter came home, and she told me the story. I could see the look of confusion in her eyes, and it pained me. It pained me because I had already faced that rejection from my next door neighbor when she found out that my husband was no longer staying with us. And we used to visit each other almost every day, and all of a sudden when she saw me coming, she would shut the door on my face. Not literally on my face, but she would run into the house and pretend as if she didn't see me. She didn't want any interaction with me. So that really pained me to see that now this is not only affecting me, but my daughter now is being affected by this rejection from society. What I discovered early on, on this divorce journey, is that men don't want their wives to associate with divorced women like me, especially if a man knows that they are not a good partner, or if they are insecure about something in their relationship. They think that maybe, um, you know, their wife can find encouragement from us to finally leave them or to finally leave the toxic relationship. I mean, the mother of my daughter's friend, we used to have a very good mother to mother relationship. I used to be a taxi to our children. I mean, she worked out of town and I was working in town. So I was able to leave my job in the afternoon and go to the school. These two were in the same school, in the same grade, in the same class. And they were friends. I used to pick them up, and before the friend joined my daughter in her ballet school, we used to invite her in the ballet award functions, and that's where she gained interest, and she told her mother that I want to join Gidu's ballet school, and she also became a ballerina. And I would take them from school, I would drop them off at the ballet school, and I would go back to work. And when I knock off, I would go to the ballet and pick them up and take them home. And when we reach our house, less than 10 minutes, she'd be there, changed from her ballet clothes into her home clothes, coming to play with my daughter. That was their relationship. They loved each other. Whenever we used to go shopping in Gauteng, my daughter would say, Mama, can we invite so and so to join us? And I would ask the mother, and the mother would agree. Like they were joined at the hip. They loved each other. And so, I mean, so one day my daughter and I went from being these good people, these good friends. We went from hero to zero in a minute. All of a sudden, after discovering that I was going through divorce, I became a leper. I felt like I had contracted leprosy. Whenever people would find out that I was getting divorced, I would feel this sense of rejection. Like people would avoid me, people would avoid eye contact with me. I mean, already divorce is very hard and very painful as it is. Divorce, by itself, it is a rejection already. I mean, your spouse is rejecting you, and their spouse also feels rejected. You loved each other at one point, and after so many years, the union is getting dissolved. That is a rejection on its own. And now to have to experience rejection from the society as well, rejection from your work peers, rejection from your church folk. Now it is no longer a single rejection, it is a double rejection, it is a multiple rejection. Like what happened to us? I mean, I know as the Black community to be those people who believe in umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu, mutu ki mutu kabatu. So why do we lose our humaneness when somebody is going through something so difficult? Instead of picking them up, lending them a helping hand, asking them, are you okay? Is there anything that I can do to help you? We trample on them even further. We make them experience rejection after rejection after rejection. This is a cancer that has permeated our society. We never used to be like that. We used to have each other's back as Black people. We used to have each other's back, but now divorce, it's like taboo. When you are divorced, you are no longer good. You are a plague. You are going to affect other people. And the West is the church, but that is a topic for another day. So I want us to talk about this. Why is that happening? Like, am I the only one who has experienced something like this? So I want us to talk. I'm opening up this table for discussion. So please leave your comments, in the comment section below. Maybe your story can offer healing to somebody else who's going through the same thing, who is feeling rejected. I mean, we are not the same as people. I mean, some of us can survive divorce and thrive, but there are other people who are very weak, who are even suicidal, being in this process of divorce or going through this divorce journey because of the rejection that they're not only facing from their partner, but from the people who are supposed to be helping her, the very people who are living in community with her. So let us talk about this. This is a cancer that we have to stop. So in the next episodes, I will be talking to other divorced women. I will be interviewing them to find out if they have gone through the same experiences that I've gone through, or what other different experiences did they go through. We really have to talk this. We need to support each other. Those of us who have gone through divorce, and those of us who are single, especially us in this Christian journey that we are in. You know, as Christians, what does the church do? What support can the church, give to people like us who have gone through so much, who are undergoing this pain? There are churches that offer divorce care courses, but there are churches that are still so old school that if you divorce, you are no longer good enough to become their church member. You are no longer good enough to be associated with them. So let us talk about it. So please press that like button, press that subscribe button, and share my video with your friends. We need to address this monster and flatten it out. So before I leave you, I want to leave you with this very scripture that is close to my heart. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. In another version it says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So there is hope. There is hope after divorce. Do not despair. I love you, and until the next episode, cheerio.